possible that there could be a time where maybe you're not ready to run Kubernetes. Maybe your organization isn't ready to run Kubernetes. Maybe the other members of the team aren't ready to run Kubernetes. And therefore, you may think about a service like ECS, Elastic Container Service, where you are running containers instead of a full Kubernetes environment. You are running an ECS cluster, but it's way watered down in comparison to the complexity of Kubernetes. So you're able to run scalable containers and containerize your applications without the overhead of Kubernetes. Very similar to Azure container instances, Azure container apps. AWS ECS has the same thing. Now, what I will say is when you're setting all this up from an ECS perspective or an ACI perspective, remember the third-party tools and add-ons that you get with Kubernetes, things like, Istio and other service mesh providers, GitOps, secrets management, etc., you're not going to be able to use. You're going to have to use the cloud providers specifications as long as the add-ons exist, okay? So for example, in AWS, there is service mesh functionality, there is secret functionality, and you'll hopefully be able to use those configurations for ECS, but you won't be able to use the others. So those are the drawbacks. You're getting a more simplistic environment, but it's pretty much not customizable at all, right? So with that being said, how can we easily manage ECS to make our lives even easier? Well, there is actually a tool, let's go ahead and take a look at it really quick, called e1s, Easily Manage AWS ECS Resources in a Terminal, right? So if we come up here, I do have my cluster in ECS right here, okay? I don't even have anything running, so I can go ahead and I could, create a service if I wanted to, but really for this purpose, I actually don't need it. So what does it look like? Well, it looks like K9s. It pretty much is K9s, as you can see here. It's just for ECS instead of Kubernetes, okay? So let's go ahead and install it. There's a brew installation right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in a bit. There's also a Docker image you can utilize. You can utilize this for the AWS Cloud Shell, or you can install it via Go. All right, so I'm just going to open up VS Code here. Run the brew install via the terminal. All right, that installation is complete. We can see right here. Next, we can look at the usage, e1s h for help. All right, we can see that is running. And I do have my AWS config in my home directory, but let's see if it works without having to do anything else. So just e1s. Oh, yeah, it does. Take a look at that. So all I had to type was e1s, and we can see the name of the cluster, anything that's running in it. There's nothing running in it, but we do see the information right here. We type D, we can see all the cluster information, which is really cool. B to open a browser. Let's see what that means. Oh, nice. That's cool. You click B and it takes you right to the cluster. Very, very interesting. So if you want an easy way to manage your ECS environments, here it is, e1s.